I need. But by the way, let me repeat that before the police think I was arming myself with guns and ammunition and coming down to the court. Because sometimes they're quick to come and arrest people. When I say arm, if you're going to bail somebody, you need everything you need. You need titles, you need checkbook, a card, debit card, bank book, whatever. Got that. I got to the court, and when I got to the court, guys, I swear it was in Trinidad where Abu Bakr had a coup. A whole set of Trinidad lawyers are sitting on the court full of policemen. And I'm wondering what's going on. So anyway, I asked where Mr. James. They said he's at the back. So my lawyer came, not my lawyer, Mr. James' lawyer came up to me and he spoke to me, tell me what questions they're going to be asking me and the magistrate as well. So when it was 2 o'clock, the clerk of the court said, court is in session, the magistrate comes. So the lawyer stands up for Mr. James and he said that, Your Honor, we have our shorty and we're ready to start. Shockingly, the magistrate said, no, wait. We have these 2 guys to deal with. The 2 guys that were in the cell with Mr. James. He's going to deal with these people first. Now, hear this. People who are 20 and 30 and 40 are taking medication. Mr. James was held. The magistrate goes for his lunch, He comes back and he has this elderly man there. You don't know if he has medication to take. And then he said, wait, we have to wait. And I'll say to people, Edison James and I go back a long way. The first time I captained the Dominica team, he was the manager. The first time I captained the Windward's team, he was also the manager. And when Vivian Richards captained the combine for the first time, he was the manager as well. And I was around. So we go back a long, long way. And there's no way I was going to allow him to sleep in the cell because that was the objective of these people, to have the gentleman spend a weekend in prison. And it is sad and wicked and brutal what happened. And people in Dominica must take note of it. And going back to the court, so when they started, they called me up, I spoke, and I'll say to you, Lobby, Thompson Ronald, when I looked across the court at one point, looking at Mr. James, I bowed my head because, I got emotional. I was watching, I said, there's a grown man, like a 10-year-old boy, at the mercy of a magistrate who could send him to prison. And I want people to know, in Pakistan, a former cricketer is in jail, and his party, who were disbanded, all his party people who went about independent won. They won the most seats. So when people doing their foolishness, they must think. Anyway, eventually, things happened. They accepted me. The bail thing went through quickly. It didn't take long because normally a bail hearing can take a long, long time because the magistrate can waste time until eventually he say he doesn't accept you, and then you're back to square one. But, at one point, I felt like telling the magistrate something, but I said, I followed Mr. James. If I went and say something out of the way, he might refuse me, and then Mr. James will be sent to Stock Farm. And it is sad. And people in Dominica, it is time for opposition forces to get together. The people have declared war on the populace. And that's why on Sunday, everybody must be there to take an aid. And mark you, I'm not saying because you're a former prime minister, if you commit crime, you must go to jail. Anybody who does wrong, even those here now, if they do crime, they must go to jail. But Mr. James hasn't done anything to have him in that situation. And it is just wrong. And as I tell you, anybody who said they were not disturbed by that, and I'll tell you, a few laborers have called me. Some of them called me last night, told me to express sympathy to Mr. James. Well, I say not dead, so to say express sympathy. Another one, in fact, I'll call his name, Bottom Brain. This gossip, I tell him he must call tonight and let people hear what he's saying, gentlemen. I don't know if you guys care to comment, guys.
Huh?
Yes, I would like to say that I am very concerned with the current situation in Dominica. The economic situation is one aspect. The legal situation is another aspect, where they are pursuing and persecuting, not prosecuting, but persecuting persons for activities or crimes that were not committed. There was an independent committee that was a regional committee that was brought to Dominica to assess what actually happened. We're yet to the report. And they're pursuing those persons, those prominent Dominicans, relentlessly. My background is in economics and accounting, and the cost of so doing is phenomenal. The amount that is being paid to the Trinidadian lawyers. Why can't we use our DPP office or local lawyers to do such work? And when you look at the opportunity cost, you spend that kind of money on Trinidad lawyers, and you look at the state of the country, you look at the state of our infrastructure. And I want to speak about one piece of the infrastructure, the sovereign entry into Maho. A lot of people pass there, a lot of representatives, a lot of people pass there, and they are waiting for somebody to go down in that hole before they fix it. And something needs to be done. People, we're at a very critical stage in Dominica. Given my background, my experience, I've not seen Dominica as bad as it is at this material point in time. So I encourage all Dominicans to come out on Sunday and get involved in the activity on Sunday afternoon to show the political directorate that we are dissatisfied with their poor management.
And I want people to listen to that, People listen to that and judge for yourself. Don't listen to that, ladies and gentlemen. Please, listen to that.
I concur with those who associate lack of sensitivity and mischief as one of terrorism, which merits destruction.
We must let them know that just as Obama is going after Al Qaeda, we will go after them. Whether they hide in Marigot, whether they hide in La Plaine, whether they hide in Salisbury, we Laborites are going after them. We must let them know that we had enough, and enough is enough.
We do need spiritual drones to exterminate those who are specialized in hatred of people and that of country.
From our point of view, there is political terrorism being practiced in Dominica by the United Workers' Party, particularly by the talking heads on Q95. Particularly by the talking heads on Q95. We must bring an end to the terrorism of the United Workers' Party. We must bring an end to the terrorism of Q95. And we have to find a way to send a clear message to Lennox Linton. You got so much deba, so much problem you cause for $1.2 billion. I mean, when are we going to arrest Linton, take him, pick him up, and just go with him? And the guy share. Just go with him. No problem, monsieur. See, Mr. is a headache. The man is a problem.
Lot fire vini kote ou, di yo gason sorti an si marche scary souple. Avant mwen mouye ou epi on glosho, sorti la, epi beti ou.
No, listen, the police didn't hear those things. When the police takes an 80-year-old man and put him in a cell, they didn't hear those things and they had to arrest people. And the police didn't hear, guys. Thompson, are you there? Thompson, we have lost you. But the police, they didn't hear these things?
Sibo,
Yeah.
this spoken word will always get to haunt you after.
I see. Well, yes, I'm there. Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, okay, because we weren't hearing you. Yeah, because I was just saying, when you hear this thing, nobody got arrested. But Thompson punked it before the court. Edison James is in a cell for a few minutes. All this sort of nonsense. Let's take this caller. Good night. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. That is just pure wickedness. I didn't know that happened in the court. I was by the court, but I was on the other side by Nassif, then you are at the front of the court, so I didn't know all that was taking place there. The man said, like, he had two other people to attend to. So for him, technically, Mr. James would have stayed in the court, and then he would say, time passed, he cannot deal with that, and he would send Mr. James to jail. But that would be maybe the last thing I think he would be maybe doing in Dominica by doing that Friday afternoon there. What really good on in Dominica now? And another thing, the Scarrett said at the, what do you call in that place, in that village Wesley, like if that doesn't vote for Labour Party, the blood of the people will be on their hands. Nobody ask him what he's selling. and all these utterances, and nobody did, no, their ears was underneath their foot. But only when workers maybe doesn't say anything at all. Because on the 17th of that year, Mr. Thompson Function was on the radio until 95. When they somebody called him and tell him, come and take out Joshua Francis there because he was misbehaving. I can remember that clearly. When the person say, where's Mr. Linton? Mr. Linton was at his home. Somebody said Mr. Linton at his home. And they wanted to call Mr. Linton. Mr. Linton's sister-in-law said, no, leave Mr. Linton at his home. Today, Mr. Linton and all the others are before the court. And Joseph Isaac sitting down on a stool inside Parliament like he's the best thing since sliced bread. If Mr. James and Mr. Thompson Function and Mr. Lennox Linton have anything have to happen to them, then you still have to go to oh my God,
Joseph Isaac.
Joseph Isaac. It has to, because that shouldn't happen at all. What is that? Anyway, everybody, good night. And Jerome, good night, and all listen to my voice. Good night.
Thank you. Yeah, another caller. Good evening, caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Sibo.
Hi.
One thing I know, the evil that men do live right here with them, not after them again. Because the way you spoke there, they tried their best to send Mr. Jail to prison that same day. They tried it. But God is with people. He know that is with him. You mean somebody can make me call Thomas father? I would waste my time to call Thomas father. If it have a funeral and he's there, I have to go, sorry, I'm not going there once his leader's there. That is me. Because I'll walk out. Thank you.
Thank you. More callers. Good evening.
Good night. This is the man himself. Good night to you, Mr. Lokoti Bastian, Thompson Fontaine. And the man, Lander, this is coming from the man himself. These people are evil. You must use the word evil. This case not going anywhere. They know that. And they continue doing mischievous to people as Mr. James, Mr. Patrick Roland John, former prime ministers of Dominica. That is disrespectful. I hope it's there for each and every one of us, all of us, in fact. Thank you very much.
You know, guys, Thompson Lobby, I don't know if you know, all of a sudden, Thompson Lobby and Ronald, I see an advertisement for 3:30 on Sunday. The Laugh Plain Health team is having a clinic for bus drivers. Can you imagine that? On Sunday afternoon at 3:30, the Laugh Plain Health team is having a clinic for bus drivers. Thompson Fountain. Did you know about that, Thompson?
Yes. Good evening. Yeah, I saw this, and I could not believe it. The exact same time, the Lapland Health District, and I thought for a while it was probably a joke. Somebody was, doing a prank, because it's the exact same time of the proposed meeting in Roseau, 3:30 Sunday afternoon, and that is the time that they find to call all the bus drivers to get a free health clinic. So I think what we need to do in terms of the organization of the rally is to have some nurses offer the same service at the rally to counter it.
Good point.
But it shows, but you know what it shows as well, Sibo, and it shows just the desperation that this administration has. Desperation to try to put us in prison, and now to try to stifle any kind of dissent. It is horrible, but it reflects very badly on them. And what that shows is a very weak and desperate administration that is at its end of its rope. And it's seeing the end, and it's trying its very best to prevent the end, but the end is inevitable for this administration.
You know, and another thing I noticed at Thompson Ronald Lobby, it's no coincidence that the person who preferred the charge is from a particular village on the West Coast, the magistrate from the same village, and their boss, the minister of league or whatever, security from the same village, all three of them. London, all three of them. So you wonder, and I don't want to say that, I have no evidence of that. Somebody tell me it might be a couple in local language. Guys have collaborated from a same village, probably met somewhere. I am not saying that. I didn't say that happened. So somebody was saying that. Three guys from the same village got together and do a kind of nonsense like that. I mean, to try and embarrass a man at 80 years, put him in a cell. Obviously, the objective was to send him to Stockholm for the entire weekend with no bail, and the bail was set high to ensure that they wouldn't get many people. We have another caller. Good night. Good evening.
Yes, Mr. Sibo and crew.
Yes.
To your boy Thompson and all the others, Landa and Lobby. Mr. Sibo, may I say something to you, my brother?
Yeah, go ahead.
I listen all the time, and I've concluded to the same thing. You just mentioned Dice a while ago. And in the last song that Dice just sang there a while ago, he's a wanted man. Never before he has seen a leader fool so many people all the time. And that is the problem. The people have a mindset where we need a revolutionary change, mental revolution. You know, there are ways that people must understand. If you change your ways, you change your thinking, you change your action, and the results will not be the same. You cannot keep doing the same thing expecting a change. For just what I heard, a 3 o'clock rally is taking place in town to save the nation and the people. And they put out a call for bus drivers to come to LaPlade. They would be foolish to take that option. Because here's the problem. When you buy and prostitute your people, it comes a time the people must understand they have been tricked. And when you realize you've been tricked, you need to stand up for yourself and stand up on principle with little morals. But if you continue to do it, I can't tell you how I feel about them people. My brother, what you are doing is good. And thanks for what you did for Mr. James. I didn't hear this thing until later on in the week. But people, I knew for sure that you guys have a good program going. And every time when you start your show, you give your little political piece. You just don't go into your show. And for that, I admire how you guys roll this show and give people information. I know it's a sports show and maybe some people don't expect to hear what's taking place in the country. But thanks for that one, my brother.
Thank you. Well, you know...
But Sebastian.
Yes, Lobby?
I mean, speaking about free clinic. It's nothing free because all the blood work, you know where you have to go and do it. There's nothing free. You should be
I don't understand that, Lobby, that clinic at 3:30 on Sunday. All of a sudden... what happened to all the other time? All of a sudden, you find a clinic at 3:30 on Sunday afternoon. Tell it boss drivers.
I want to play that song from Groovers. Samuel Groovers out there.
Well,
but you know, but Sibo, it is really pathetic, though. You know, it's just pathetic.
Go on, Thompson.
No, I'm saying that it is just really pathetic. You know, I feel, you know, you have to pity people who go to those kind of lengths, eh? I mean, I feel sorry for these people, honestly.
That's why Tom must understand now. Now is the time to move forward. You can't retreat anymore. The people determined now. You know, Edison James said something. I listened to him on Monday night with Pastor Rodney. And he said, one day jail all the leaders, you, Linton, Edison James, everybody else. There will be nobody, so nobody will be able to lead the people. And the people now must come forward of the leaders and show that now is the time. We can't retreat anymore because the people are trying to put people in prison. That's the determination, that's the objective now. Throw guys in jail. So people must understand that now. They can no retreat anymore. Another caller, let's take the caller. Good evening.
Yes, Sibo, it's me again. When you think of that clinic on Sunday afternoon, you must laugh. And while I'm there, Sibo, let me thank you, bless you on behalf of Mr. James. I forget to say that.
Thank you.
You see what's happening, and that activity, the clinic, is one of the activities to transform the priorities, the social thinking of the people. That has been happening over and over again. Dominicans, their whole thought process has changed tremendously. That dependency syndrome, that area where I can disrespect people, I can get alliance to a particular person, and everything will be all right for me. And it is impacting negatively on all that we do in Dominica. It is causing a deterioration in the whole thought process. You see a person's now, they are very deficient. Their thought process is very deficient.
as a consequence of all those different activities. And we've got to find a way of getting people to free think, of getting people to think independently. If we don't do that, we're going to continuously be in problems and we're going to be continuously disrespecting each other.
Yeah. We have another caller. Let's be caller. Good evening. Hello?
Good evening, Thibault.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. I call in here to support and to give you support and whatsoever you do for Mr. James. But there's something I want to tell you. I know you're not on that topic. There's a former cricketer I called you to tell you about it last week who died. And I didn't have time yet to tell you that. You could remember the guy Ozzy always used to talk about.
I heard about you back in the Friday. I don't really know him. I heard about him. I don't know. Lobby would have heard that. I don't know him really, honestly.
Yeah, well, there is him on Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But you know, thank you, caller. You know what I'll say, and I'll say it again. If I had to do that for Edison James 100 times, I would do it. And like I said, Edison James and I go, he was my manager many times. Dominica team, Windward's team, combined team. So do it. And I couldn't see a man that been sent to jail, prison, spend stock farm. Who wants to be at stock farm? To send up an elderly man like at stock farm for 3 4 days? Nah, man. That's unconscionable. Yeah.
Sebastian.
Yes, sir.
Lander made a good observation early on. As he said, an independent committee was sent to investigate that matter. All right? That should have been dead by now. This issue should have been dead by now.
Exactly. But you know, somebody lobby happy said that told me Porto Liberated St. Thomas even was saying, even one of their own men said that, I mean, what happened to Mr. James wrong? And he was asking for pardon. But it shouldn't be a pardon. Mr. James has done nothing wrong. The people, because you have a guy out there enjoying himself who was charged jointly. He has no charge. So the people must just withdraw this and stop this nonsense, this persecuting of Thompson, Leonard Clinton, Hector, all of them, and that kind of thing. Let's take another caller. Good night.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
A few questions. Quickly, that I see more Mr. Thompson can answer. I'm very grateful that you bailed Mr. James because somebody had to come up with the funds to bail him. But my question is, doesn't the UWP in their fund have enough money, listen very well, to bail him, or were they not allowed to bail him?
Well, hold on there. What I would say to you, I'm sure Mr. James could have bailed himself. But I'm
not talking about, listen.
Okay.
Mr. James is individual. I'm talking about the party fund to bail him.
But I'm not sure if the magistrate would accept that, darling.
The party cannot bail him.
The party cannot bail him.
Individual.
That is what I was asking. That is what I was asking.
The party couldn't bail him. Yeah, the party. Because
fine,
you know,
that's what I was.
Before you go,
that's what I was asking.
Before you go, because the magistrate has to, well, he questioned me, and as he said to me, if Mr. James doesn't show up, I have to pay the money. So that's why the party couldn't bail him. But the point
on another note, Mr. Sebastian, I looked at a post on Facebook, and I'm sure you all may have seen it. It was under Mr. Thaddeus James live. And some Philip guy threatened the magistrate. And I heard no condemning of that. He said to exact that the magistrate has a wife and children, that revenge could be taken there. And I find he should not have said that.
Well, I'm hearing that for the first time through that. Anybody that said that it's wrong, it is wrong.
Yes. So if you go under Mr. Thaddeus James post that,
well, that's wrong. We must condemn that.
Because Mr. Loda is doing his job. You have no right to threaten the judge. And Mr. James is a nice guy. I like his spirit. But as to, I feel honestly, I'm not sure if it's sports we're supposed to be speaking, if we're supposed to be speaking politics, because I'm a sports person. So I'm just going to say that good luck with the meeting on Sunday, and I hope it goes peacefully.
Will you be there, sir, ma'am? Will you be there?
No, I will not be there. Okay. Honestly speaking, I'll be at work. I will not be there.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, I just hope it goes peacefully. And I honestly have seen that every time we keep saying that it's the last meeting. And then at the end of the meeting, what? That's what I'm saying. So I'm not calling for violence. And another thing, I think I'm not going to bash Blessing, but he's very insulting because, and I feel sometimes you all have to call on him. He calls people mean.
Hello.
He calls
Hello,
hello,
young lady.
yeah.
This is not a program to discuss blessings.
Exactly.
Make your
exactly.
point. This is not a program to discuss blessings.
And Blessing can
Okay.
defend himself. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'm saying that.
This is not a
but
program to
Darling,
discuss
please.
blessings.
And Landa is right.
Yeah.
Please. Okay, let's
You
move
make
on.
your point. You make
Yeah.
some good points. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah. We have more callers. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Sibo.
Yes, ma'am.
And to the other gentleman,
Landa, Thompson Fontaine, Lobla.
Mr. Fontaine, lovely, good evening.
Good evening.
I am just listening to the program, and I listen everything about Mr. James. It was heartbreaking when I hear that. And some people, when you see it has a program on queue, they have a problem. But when the other radio and them does have their program, they don't have a problem. That is all I have to say.
Well done.
I'm saying you strengthen the point of the thought process. What has happened to our whole thinking process in Dominica? Our priorities. We seem to have been re-socialized over the last 2 decades. And people are thinking differently. They're not objective anymore. People are so subjective in their thinking. And it's very unfortunate.
Next caller, good night. Good evening.
Hello, Sibo.
Hey, boss, how are you in, man? What's up?
Not bad. And to Landa.
And Thompson and Lobby.
Yes. Well, you're correct that the party under the law cannot be seen as an institution to take responsibility on legal matters, because anytime the person does not show up for the case, the individual or individuals who build him must be a person that the court can have redress. That's one. So the party cannot intervene in that instance. The other thing, though, what happened in 2017? They brought some people here. There was a guy from Jamaica, from a soldier from Jamaica, who did an investigation. They said that there was no coup and nothing planned. What happened was, after the event, the police had to unblock the road and let the vehicle get off from the normal route of getting out. But they did not do that, and the people, in the area got messy, and whatever happened. I just heard the Minister of National Security and the Police Commissioner, and I'm saying we are in 2024, and that event was in 2017, and we have had events that have taken place and went smoothly and peacefully and so forth. And I don't think we have to each time there's an organization doing something that is opposed to the government, that the government must give the impression to the country and the world that there is confusion and there's going to be violence. There are some people who even people from another party can do things just to create mischief. And I think the police have to focus. You have to focus. Just like if you have a demonstration, there may be people there demonstrating for their salaries or working conditions. Other people might come in to create mayhem and confusion. So the police have to put a system in place to look at these people and to apprehend these people, but not to put it entirely on the organizers who organize it, because sometimes you organize it and what you see on social media have nothing to do with you at all. And I'm very disappointed when I heard the Commissioner of Police and the Minister of National Security, because it gave an impression that once you plan a meeting and it's not a meeting of the government, then that you're in a violent state, and that should not be what should be coming from.
But what also mean they were making reference to about violence to the police, you mean?
Yes, I heard a news on DBS a while ago where the minister and the police commissioner is saying that they have information that the meeting on Sunday will cause violence.
Okay, information from where? Why these people every time come in this rubbish?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that. And now they're asking the organizers, which is Lennox Newington and Nicholas George, to make a statement condemning violence. And the minister said he's waiting, but he said that what they have seen, as far as he's concerned, it may not have to do nothing to do with the UWP and so forth. And therefore, he wanted to make a statement, and he will not invoke the law that would prohibit the meeting from taking place and so forth. So I just find in a little country like that, every organization has a right to have meetings, and if there is a meeting, those who come to the meeting for their mischief, the police must look at them, and if they disturb the law, take them to the law. But to point it on an organization and play politics and everything to scare people and to create that kind of confusion. To me, in 2024, I don't think we as a country should have that. And I'm very disappointed with that statement.
Well, Bosso, what I would say is that that's a means of deterring people and preventing them from coming. Because they're frightening people, there's going to be violence, so stay at your home. That is all tactics, that kind of nasty tactics these guys are using.
I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah, that is part of this guy's plan. Like the real communist state we are, man. We have another caller. Good night. Planning violence. Who could?
It's me again, Sibo boy. That labor right get latitude tonight there to say all what she wants is a habit she have. A nice, calm, and polite, and you didn't detect her. So
well, I don't know who's calling. When people call, we don't know. I mean,
I telling you, she realized she had a latitude, so she take her time to pronounce everything she was saying in a nice way. See what Mr. Boston said there to me. I heard Mr. Linton say something to that effect. Once workers going to have a meeting, first thing they put in front is violence. And in 2017, you know that Mr. Linton and them were having that meeting. You hear it's a workers' meeting. You know labor rights, dressed in red. One from Belfast State, one from Kingsville, upper pinpointed them, standing up by Burton. They know what you come to workers meeting to, dressed in red. So they come in with their agenda, and when they do what they're doing, they put it on workers people, but not that time. Without drones watching, so they will know who commit all what it have to. But if nothing happens, they will know who do it. Bye bye.
It's, the thing is that it's the responsibility of the police to maintain law and order. That is your role.
Correct.
Whoever has a meeting of that nature, your role is to go there and control to deter any problem. They should not stay away. They should be
no, but if they say they have information, go and arrest people. You can arrest them, if you have information.
No, but your role, Sebastian, that is what you are paid to do, to maintain law and order, protection. When we have a meeting of this nature, you should be there in large numbers to deter any problem.
Nobody's going to have any violence. It's a peaceful
I know.
meeting, and this people are playing. Another caller. Good night. Oh, man. Hello? Hello? Good evening.
Just quickly, Sibo, blessings, Thompson, and everybody. Blessings to you all.
Yeah.
Blessings.
I had the document there. Adolf Hitler, I quoted him on that event several times. Burn his parliamentary building, the Reichstag building, and blame it on the opposition and jail them. You remember Tony Astafans and Roosevelt Skerrit committed a crime against Roosevelt Skerrit and pin it on Mr. Linton?
That's correct. We know that. Yes, blessing.
Well, you see the person who creates the problem designating themselves to be the accuser, the investigator. So it's a trend. And I agree with you all. What they're trying to do is to keep people away, to intimidate people. They're going to be war. They're going to be fire. You see, that's how dangerous these communist leaders are, according to Mr. James. Mr. James said something, a dictator rather burn a house and govern from or rule from the ashes rather than he vacated the house. And that's what they're doing. Blessing.
Thanks. Okay, we'll close that section. Blessing. I'm going to play a song so people can listen and take in the song. Come on, DJ, give us a tune there, please, as we close this segment.
Once upon a time, this country was sweet. People could align freely on the street. Whether it was north or south, you could always walk without fear of maltreatment and intimidation. We had no money, but used to live right. The people used to be just poor and polite. It didn't matter what, we were always taught how to honor your mother and father. and love thy neighbor. No honor and respect gone through the door. We living in a state of undeclared war. Youths acting like they said parents want to abstain. Shouting out, don't call me name. I ain't taking no kind of blame. Something happened along the way, no honesty. Was them be thrown overboard? This is madness. Madness. This is madness. Total madness. Something happened along the way, morality. We can no longer afford. This is madness. Madness. This is madness. Total madness. What's going on in my country, Lord? Tell me what is wrong, I want to know. Hijackers, kidnappers, and multiple murderers. Trinidad and Tobago, long ago was never so. People used to go into sleep anytime.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly sports show on Q95. The entire Caribbean is listening to Sports Wrap on the big station every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. with renowned veteran sports commentator and retired magistrate Ozzie Lewis, famous cricketer and sports analyst Lockhart Sibo Sebastian. Sports Wrap, your one-stop shop for unique, inclusive, in-depth analysis of local, regional, and international sports, bringing you the best in sports debate and up-to-the-minute information and statistics. Sports Wrap, every Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. 2 exciting hours of pure, exciting sports talk. The experts are in the house. Sports Wrap, every Thursday evening, only on the big station, only on Q95. Lock it in.
Okay, we are back, and we have with us Mr. Philip White, who is a representative of the Kensbro United Sports Club. They're currently celebrating their 50th anniversary of existence, and that is very well done. We have to say to Kensbro. Lobby, I know you're a Kensbro man yourself, and let us say good night to Mr. White. Philip?
Well, good night, Lockhart and Ronald, and Lobby overseas.
And Thompson as well.
And Thompson Fountain, and to the many listeners locked in onto the big station, Q95.
Yes, well, you all celebrated. Tell us about, first of all, this book you all have come up with, Philip. Who was really behind that, and where was it printed?
Well, it's a 50th anniversary magazine, which was printed locally by Campbell's business, well-known printers in Dominica. Well, the General Secretary, Bala, he was the mastermind behind the whole project, and I assisted him, identifying sponsors and going to sponsors, because, without sponsors, the project would not be viable to get such a magazine printed. It's something historic, 50 years of existence, which captures the history of the ups and downs of Kensbro, the various sponsors of the club, the achievements, It highlights the players who have performed over the years for Kensbro, both locally and at national level. And it's something that everyone should really try to get a copy, to really know the history of Kensbro.
I must say, I've seen the magazine. It is professionally done, and it is very informative. Very, very informative. I commend you all for that. The next area we wanted to speak about is the program for the 50th anniversary.
Well, the program started actually we started in October 2022, but due to a number of factors, because the anniversary really was in 2022, which gave 50 years, but due to a number of factors, then we decided to postpone it and to ensure that we had a good product. A number of persons who resided overseas who had to come in to be part of the celebrations. And so we had the celebration, the awards dinner, which we celebrated. We had to postpone it on 2 occasions, but eventually we had it on November 8th, just after independence. We had a very good dinner and awards ceremony. Unfortunately, a lot of the local players who were invited to attend to the function did not show up, where they were recognized, they were given certificates of achievement and, given recognition. And those who attended the function were very delighted, to see what we prepared for them, some of them first time they were in such, function, buffet style, and you're being served your wine at table and your dessert and whatnot, but this is what we have to do, these little things we have to do when we recognize persons, we don't wait when they go to the grave and then we start saying, oh, this person did X and Y, and so they cannot hear at that time and they don't know how you appreciate them, so but this is what happened. And we continued after that, informing the new players, because there's transition over the years. And hopefully we want to engage Harlem with a veterans game. This is something in the planning stage, and we're hoping that would close the anniversary, the 50th anniversary.
Have you all discussed it with the Harlem people already? Have there been discussions going on?
Well, yes, it has been mentioned to Don Leogal and some others, so it's a matter of identifying the players. But these days everyone busy, and the venue, we wanted to have it during the carnival season, but what happened? The grounds was taken up because it would have been an appropriate time to have it during the carnival season, when you had a number of Dominicans from overseas, some of the veterans who were here, who could have witnessed a game between Harlem and Kensbro of yesteryear, but we're still hopeful that that game can take place. The Newtown Savannah has been rehabilitated, a job was well done. I saw it last Saturday. Don Leogal and Sheldon Casimir did a fantastic job to restore the grounds, and we're hoping that that game can really take place.
Lobby, I'm sure you want to make an input. In fact, I just saw your name there, Assistant Secretary Treasurer, Lobby.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
But yes, gentlemen, Sebastian, what I'm concerned about, yes, we have 50 years, I'm looking at Roseau in particular. There's absolutely no place in Roseau where you can play. You got the football team, you got the basketball team, you got anything at all. It is sad, Sebastian. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to Mr. White speaking about 50 years of Kensbro. But what the Windsor Park did for us, and Landa knows that, what the Windsor Park, like Newtown Savannah, that's all we knew. All right, it helped us to grow, to build friendship, all right, to restore pride. And today, that the name Kensbro is hidden in the Botanic Gardens on a 4x4 area. That's where you have to practice hoping just to keep the name alive. It is very, very sad, Sebastian. Very, very sad. Mr. White, speaks about there's the achievement, but I'm looking at back, and for continuity, praise God, the Newton Savannah is still there. I'm happy that the Newton Savannah is still there. The name Harlem can continue to exist and produce players. But there's anything in Roseau whatsoever presently.
Thompson, you want to make an input?
Yes, certainly. Yes, I would certainly like to congratulate Mr. White and others involved, Lobby and the others who are involved in this. I think it's a great gesture. And anytime you can, basically keep the history of the country alive is a great thing. Obviously, I was partial to Kensborough in this great rivalry between Harlem. I supported Kensborough throughout, especially in the days of Coco Shoe and so on. These were great memories. That was my introduction to football in Roseau, seeing that great rivalry between the two clubs. And I'm very happy, to know later when I was able to play with a spin-off of Kensborough, more or less, the Blue Stars, but certainly something that I think we have to do more of in terms of recognizing our own. I think that is probably lacking. And as Ruby said, it's very sad that we do not have the facilities, like we used to in Roseau, because the guys from Kensborough could always have played in the Windsor Park, and that's where a lot of them develop their skills, and so it's something that we have to look at. We have to make sure that any kind of population center, you must have a sporting facility. You cannot develop a country without the very presence of a sporting facility that everybody have access to. So that's one of the shortcomings of this administration. Not that I want to put politics into this, but definitely to just draw to the attention of the public that, when we elect leaders, we need to be careful what we do, because, we long for the days of the rivalry of Kensborough, but that could only happen because persons had the facilities, they had the ability to practice, and we've lost that. And that is the place we need to come back to.
Yeah, I think somebody has a call maybe for Mr. White, a caller to... before we wait for the caller, Mr. White, Kensborough, we know, Ronald would know, Lobby, Thompson. Let's take the caller, and then I'll get back to the question. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes?
I'm a former member of Kensborough. Not former, but I played for the second division. I would like to ask Mr. White, where can I get a copy or book, or where is the location for that? I'm a player, and I don't know who's talking to Jimbo.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a second division player for Kensborough.
I recognize
we
you.
won a knockout trophy between Academy, which was the champion, and Stella was both in charge of Kensborough second division, as you know, Kensborough, and also Academy, St. Mary's Academy, and they won the league and we won the knockout. Jimbo that's talking there. So I would like to know if I can get a copy. I'm a former member of Kensborough.
Okay, well, you would have to check Ballard Sports Anywhere and discuss it with him. But at the moment, we the magazines are on sale at $40 a copy. But you can talk to Bala at Sports Anywhere for the time being.
Anyway, take it easy. Thank you.
The question I had for you, Kensborough have been languishing in the lower divisions of football in Dominica for years now. Kensborough, a powerhouse in the 70s, 80s, people like Abu and Rojo and Coco Shoe and whatever.
Fitzhenry.
All these guys, Fitzhenry, you're right. But what are you all doing now to try to get Kensborough back to the heights they were in the 70s, 80s, 90s?
Well, it is very difficult to get Kensborough back to where they were, because without a facility, you cannot invite players to join your club. The first question they're going to ask you, where are we going to train? Where are you practicing? Then you do not have a facility to practice. And that has affected, because despite the demolition of the Windsor Park, Kensborough remained in the Premier Division until 2016. The Windsor Park was demolished in 2000, and Kensborough remained 16 years after that in Premier Division, because they had a core of good players who were playing in other leagues, because in those days we had various leagues, we had the Bath Estate League, we had the Newtown League, we had leagues at Pottersville. So those players, we had Point Michel League, these players were playing, and they had already developed their skills. So Kensborough could ride on that, but like everything else, after your core players and your skilled players, the 16 years is a lot of playing, then your team starts going down. So it's difficult now to really recruit players. Players want to come, but they come and then they say, but we cannot develop in in the convent, at the back of the convent. Right now, the back of the convent is being used as a CO center because they had carnival there. You had Christmas village there. Recently you had carnival. You have all kind of fete in the very same place that Kensborough has to train. Now you cannot go and play in the gardens because cricket is on. The Cricket Association has a comprehensive program until the end of March where they have utilized all the venues possible. Portsmouth, Londonderry, Dublin, the Gardens. The Windsor Park is not available. So much so that athletics has now gone to Geneva. That's where we can have athletics in Geneva. So it's going to be very difficult for Kensborough to come back, to recruit players and whatnot. The Bath State Field has been affected, and so on. So it's very difficult. So you find that players now are migrating to other clubs, and what you see happening now is because of the new format of football. There's a transfer window and whatnot. The football has become very exciting that players now are transferring from one club. They might play half a season with one club and then transfer to another club, and to create some kind of excitement, because that's how it's done internationally. So Kensborough cannot really get into that kind of format yet because there's no venue to attract players.
It's grossly unfortunate that the absence of the venue has contributed significantly to the deterioration of the quality of football that Kensborough was producing over the years. And I commend you guys for keeping the team together. The other facility that's in good proximity is the Portersville Savannah. But look at what has been done in the Portersville Savannah. The guys have taken over a third of the Savannah, yet they've come over the fence and start putting stuff over the fence. And if that Savannah could be enhanced, maybe Kensborough could adopt there as their new playing area. You made a point earlier on about Harlem and Kensborough. And interestingly, some time ago, Cecil Big Chest Bertrand, do you know that name?
Yes,
Cecil Big
yes,
Chest
yes.
Bertrand
Yeah.
met me at a funeral and said to me that he visited Dana Ito. He saw a picture of Dana Ito recently, and he was so taken aback. And what he would like to do is to have a benefit match between Harlem All-Stars and Kensborough All-Stars in order to make a contribution to Dana Ito. Dana Ito has made a significant contribution not only to Kensborough, initially to Spartans and to the national team. And this can be done at the Windsor Park. A lot of discussions may have to be done so that we can secure that playing area to have that big game. So this is something I would like Mr. White and Mr. Selle, I know you're listening. We're going to call you in a while. That's something I want you to consider and to discuss it with Don Leogal and Big Chest Bertrand.
Before you answer, is he ill? Before Philip, is he ill?
Big Chest?
No, Dana.
Yeah, Dana is ill, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Dana is ill.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Dana.
Well, as a matter of fact, this is one of the things I've highlighted here. Dana Ito, he's very, I won't use the word critical, but he's not what you expect. Bedridden and so on. Yeah. And he's one of the players we have highlighted in the magazine.
Whoa.
And unfortunate, and this is something that we're looking to see what we can do to assist him. I know last weekend, CISO, who is a committee member and whatnot, visited him at the hospital,
So he's in the hospital right now?
Yeah.
He's at the hospital?
Yeah,
I will visit
when
him.
when I saw the picture, man, tears came to my eyes, man. That how you never know where you end.
I never know. I thought Dana had migrated.
No. He's very, very ill.
So, Mr. White, this is something that we can work on.
Yeah.
And if it's a benefit game for Dana, it's marketable. We can go to the
See,
authorities.
have it here, Dana Ito.
Go to the authorities of the Windsor Park and say,
We could not even get a picture of his to put in the magazine. you know, because he has been alien, I think since after the death of his wife, and so he really took it, yeah. Had an effect on
I thought Dana had immigrated. I've seen Dana for a long, long time.
No.
And you know, Dana was one of the founder members, founding members. And he was part of, you remember that in the days as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interestingly, Kensbro is an offshoot of Celtic.
Yeah.
Celtic.
Yes,
Celtic
yes.
was an offshoot of Combomere.
Yes.
And then out of Celtic came Kensbro.
Kensbro, yeah.
And then Blue Stars. out
Blue
of
Stars,
Kensbro.
yeah.
You know, but it's very good. And I commend Bala, I commend you, I commend the other organizers for keeping Kensbro together.
And Bala in particular, he has been the forefront of Kensbro for years, for decades, really. Clifford Seller. And you have to say thanks to him. Kensbro people have to say thanks to Clifford Seller for always being there for them. Always. Yeah, but that's sad as we talk about Dan. I never knew, man. I feel very bad to hear that for Dan.
Well, yeah, I must also say that at the award ceremony we recognize 3 persons. Norris Privo, who at one time was a sponsor. Well, we had him as Antilles Kensbro, and then RIC Kensbro, you know, Rosa Improvement Committee Kensbro, Julius Timothy, ACS, and Sheridan Gregor of Q95. These have been some of the major sponsors over the years, you know, and they were recognized with special plaques, you know, during the award ceremony. Unfortunately, we know the condition of Julius Timothy, he could not attend, you know, and Mr. Privo, I think, now resides out of Roseau.
Yeah, in the West Coast.
West Coast, and then Sir Gregor out of state. But we recognize them and we continue. We have highlighted them in the magazine and we'll continue showing our appreciation as the years go by.
But this is something that you all should keep on your agenda, and I don't know why the Windsor Park could be used under supervision. They could allow Kensbro to use the Windsor Park once or twice a week if the conditions are favorable for you to use it. If it's raining and you're going to deteriorate, it's going to deteriorate the park, then you can say no. But then under controlled conditions, the athletes, so what do we have the Windsor Park for?
Yeah, because if you look at last weekend, after the carnival, you passed at Newtown, you saw the condition of Newtown Savannah.
Yeah.
There was a big hue and cry and, you know, and whatnot. And then you passed the Sunday morning, you'd say, but that's not the same place you saw. I mean, the repairs that was done immediately after, I mean...
But Mr. White, we've got to be very careful about that, eh?
Yes,
because it's going to be very firm. We're going to be very
I don't know.
It's like concrete now.
The Newtown Savannah reminded me of the border ground in Guyana. You know, this kind of glass kind of thing sliding. You know, it was so well done. But, you know, so if you get some water, up to today, I saw them, they're watering it, you know, keep, you know, after they roll the water. Because this is the late Patrick John. This is one of the ideas he had, you know, that.
We have a caller maybe for you, Mr. White. Let's probably take the caller. Maybe they want to ask you a question about Kensbro. Good evening.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, that's a good discussion. This is my derby, Kensbro, Harlem, and I really miss that football derby. These guys have produced tremendous players around Dominica. Because I remember going to Windsor Park and looking at Abu, Rojo, Kokoshu, players like Dana Iso. I was talking about Burgess. Burgess has one of the best left footer I saw in Dominica.
Lewis, yeah.
You know, so these expensive eyes, I remember expensive eyes being tear-apart by, I think it was one of the Fox brothers.
Fox.
There's a comic by Luge on the Chronicle that show you when eyes really was destroyed by Fox. So Harlem versus Kens was a great scenario, and it's a good thing that they are reached 50 years. 50 years is a milestone in any club development, and I think I need to congratulate Bala. Bala really deserves an award. I know we have received his Meritorious Award for the development of football in the Roseau Central. But I'm saying that Kensbro, maybe, I don't know, with the demise of Windsor Park, whether they should have really maybe look at the other park next door to it, that was the grammar school ground. That park to me should have been developed as a practice field for football and cricket. So that is where I think we lapse on that in the development of the Roseau Central teams, the ability of a playing field for them. Because I don't think we should have them going to practice on the botanical gardens where cricket is being played, and that is really hampering the surface for cricketers. All hitting fellas in their face because of the bumps and the destruction that is being caused on that field. There are people practicing football on the same playing field where they play cricket. So White, I just congratulate you and your team, and I hope Kensbro can continue, because I order to tell you that the Savannah on top there, which is Goodwill Savannah, is a bridge away. You just cross the bridge in Goodwill, and maybe you can organize a system of training there in the night time. Now we have lights at the Goodwill Savannah that they can use that Savannah to practice. So we have to look at all ways and means to get things going and get the clubs, especially those in Roseau Central, to get back to their great glory that they used to have in the 70s and the 80s. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good program.
Lobby, hold on a second. Lobby, are you there? Lobby? We're not hearing you now. Thompson, are you there?
Yes, Sibu. Actually, I wanted to make a quick comment about the playing fields and so on, because I know earlier Mr. White mentioned even having games in Baffin State, and I was shocked to see the condition of the Baffin State playing field. I mean, I don't understand this. Why can't they just cut the grass? So it means that the whole community is being denied because the grass is not being cut, and it is right in front of the doorstep of the Football Association. So what really is going on with our state of sports in Dominica? I know we're lamenting the fact that we don't have anything in Roseau, but at least if the Baffin State playing field, if the grass was just mowed, then probably the guys from Roseau could have spent some time there. You know, I don't understand it, man. Probably somebody needs to explain that to me.
So, Thompson, I happy you made that point. I'm not too sure if it's deliberate or coincidental. That the playing fields in the Roseau environment, they have been allowed to deteriorate significantly. Pottersville is a typical example. Newtown, yes, over the years we've improved Newtown, but whenever you have other activities in Newtown, it impacts negatively on the field. Then we go to Goodwill. Goodwill has limited space. Scotty just made the point about the old grammar school grounds, and this is an area that we should look at. However, I firmly believe that access should be given to the stadium, control access under certain conditions for Kensbro to play, for the athletes to do their training, and for other people to do their work. We don't have
praise you, brother.
good looks.
Can you hear me, Sibo?
Yeah, we're hearing you now. Yeah. Go on, Lobby. Go on.
Yes, I mean, it's a very valid point by my brother Lander. I mean, before I left Dominica, you know, it pained me that, you know, the athletes, I have to write to use the stadium from day one. Something should have been done to allow the sportsmen, like Kensbro, the athletes and the footballers, the teams to have access to the Windsor Park, as you said, control. All right. Now we have, and Lander early on alluded to the fact that about the ground, about Pottersville. Gentlemen, you have to understand that the grammar school ground right now, Lander, are you aware that the Chinese concreted, there's a basketball court inside there, you know?
Where in the grammar school ground?
Yes, Sebastian. And what I seen in Pottersville there, do you see, Sebastian, to me, it looking like we will not have the Pottersville Savannah anymore. What I'm seeing taking place there. No, this is a serious thing, Sebastian.
No, I know. I'm not saying that. I'm not laughing at you. No, I'm not laughing. What's happening?
I come home there for the carnival. I am seeing a heavy increase in the consumption of alcohol, smoking among our young boys and girls. I was shocked.
Well, you know, as you said that, you know, today I went to watch a game at the Gardens, the under 20, the college and the field. about 8 guys in white. I saw one guy at square leg with a black pants and white. And I said, this is state college team, on the field, watching this cricket. I'm watching that game in the garden. I said, look at this boy on the field. Men with black pants and all on the field
Yeah,
today.
black shoes and all kind.
Yeah, I saw that today.
I saw that last year or year before.
Yeah, I went to watch some of the game today, the school game.
It has not been taken seriously,
Something is wrong somewhere. As Lander have been talking about management in every facet of in this country. The country is badly managed.
Badly governed as well, Lobby.
Yeah.
Badly governed. Look now, they want to accuse people of violence. Nobody just said they have intel about violence. We have a caller there. Good evening. All kind of foolishness.
Let me just say something. The Baffert State playing field doesn't have anything to do with the Football Association. I think it more have to do with the Baffert State community. That is their place. It's nothing to do with the Football Association. Maybe that's the Football Association ground. They would be taking care of it, but they have nothing to do. The committee of Baffert State is not responsible for that. On another note, I asked somebody, speaking to somebody about sports, why the stadium can't be used for football. Person tell me cannot be on the level they would like it to be because they have to do too much preparation for the ground whenever they have a big cricket game. Have a blessed night. Bye-bye.
Well, what I know, South Africa doesn't call up supposed to come to the Caribbean in August. Dominica tried to bid. We have another caller in the line. Good evening.
Good evening, Shibo.
Yes, good evening.
And Landa.
Good evening,
and Dr. Thompson Fountain and Lobby. Now you're watching the children and them on the playing field, black and white. But before the parents of the children before, once it's cricket, they would put themselves all out to make sure all the children have their white, their white. Even though they haven't got a boot, but they would have their white tennis boots. They would have something, but where is the money to buy to these things now? That is, you have to ask about that question. It is the parents that the children that come there could even afford to buy a sneakers for them. We have to question all these things, It's not the children that would really want to come. So, but sometimes different can afford to buy a little white shirt for it.
Yeah, cricket is a very expensive sport,
Sebastian, I have a question to ask you.
Hold on, Lobby. We have another caller after the caller. Good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, to the whole panelists.
Okay.
Now, what I would like to wonder, what is the reason that the people of Dominica cannot honor Mr. Robertson Hippolyte, better known as Coco Show? Just a question I'm throwing forward. Thank you.
Well, that's a good question. Another caller? Probably Philip will answer that just now. Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yes, good evening.
Everybody on the panel.
Okay.
I've got a question for all of you on the panel. You're talking about grounds and sports not operating. Can any one of you on that program tell me of any program, any organization under this government, any sector that is working even 50%? Any sector, anything you want to talk about. If you want to talk about health, you want to talk about education, you want to talk about sports, anything, farming, fish, anything, any one of you that can tell me of any of these under this present government that is working even 50%, I'll call back and give you my number and I've got a gift for you. Good night, gentlemen.
Thompson, you want to answer?
The caller is absolutely correct. What we see in sports is something that we see in all sectors of the Dominican
Obviously.
life, in terms of crime, in terms of poverty, in terms of bad governance, in terms of the health sector. He's absolutely correct. I cannot think of anything in Dominica that I can say, yes, that's really working. Let me see. Other than probably the sales in rum sales. Other than that, I'm hard pressed to find anything that is really working. Come to think of it, I mean, everything has been impacted negatively in Dominica. Our cricket, as you know, everything, man, everything. Very frustrating, very frustrating and depressing.
Depressing is an understatement.
Well, I hope the caller. We have another caller. Hold on, Lobby. Good evening. Hello.
Hey, Sibo.
Yes, sir.
This caller who spoke of the parents not able to buy whites for the kids, he's right, because Sibo, where they getting the money? Everything they have to go up to the center, and this man himself is more broke than broke. So
No, I take that point, and I guess all of us on the panel realize things are a bit difficult. I mean, some parents, in fact, I tell you, when I saw that today watching the game, I said, shit, I mean, the college will have but the point is probably some people can't afford. You're correct. And the color is correct.
I am certain you have some white pants there that you probably can donate to these guys too. You're probably not using them anymore. So it's best you and your son probably donate them to this young kid, because your parents just cannot die. Your pastor going here, God, make move festival.
Okay, I hear you, bro. What I do?
I think what the schools need to
caller
do.
is still there? No. Go ahead, Philip. Yeah.
I think what the schools need to do at this stage, is how you have in football. The schools would have to buy the gears, the uniforms, and when the games, they allow the players to use them. Pants, and shirts, and shoes, and socks, and everything.
When I think football, not in cricket is a different sport. That it would be difficult to take the whites and talk for other guys next week. Anyway, let's take another caller. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Sibo.
Yes?
That's teacher Lufa.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something. When I was talking about uniform, in my days when I used to play in Windsor Park, we take actually two news of that. You know what
Your friend today, Lufa friend to the 60s.
Sibo, let me just say congratulations to Kensbro. Congratulations to Kensbro. Ghana to Kokoshu. Let me just say that Sibo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Something is wrong with our participation in sports in Dominica, and I will agree with me. In the days of Harlem versus Kensbro, I can tell you, I used to cross the river from Goodwill. 2:30, we in that park there with our drums and our thing. The whole idea of sport in Dominica have gone to grass. People are not interested, they don't know what is wrong. Anyway, thank you very much.
No,
hold on, caller. 1 minute, Lobby. Good evening, caller.
Good afternoon, I was one to be tutoring,
Say it again.
I was one to be tutoring.
So I mean, 2 teams would be on the field. 2
yes, other mother makers.
What age group would be doing that, Muku? Tell us.
At the age of 8, 9, and 10.
Through 8 and 10.
On a football field?
Yeah, in the gardens too. When your mother will beat you, so you hide in your clothes.
That's
cricket or football.
Anyone on the field. My goodness.
So when
only boys though, Muku, only boys, right?
Yeah, only boys.
Oh, okay.
One girl is called Patricia Tomboy.
What's that?
Patricia Tomboy.
You mean the people of the opposite sex would be on the field 2-2 as well?
One woman alone, I know that's Patricia.
You mean on the field 2-2 with?
No. She should play for Scott. She never to them, but all of us should be doing around her. And she was picking up one game, and if she don't like you, she's pitching you outside. And if you're not jumping you. But see, but on the other hand, if you're not playing on cricket field there with black and white, it's money, for sportsmen, The morning for black and white, not supposed to feel as a cricketer. The morning.
Sir, what did you say, Moko? I didn't hear. What?
Black and white adult cricketer not supposed to be on the field.
No, when I saw that today, I saw 2 guys on the field.
I saw it myself too, man.
When they were not dressing white. I stayed there for a while watching that game. And again, Moko, I mean, I went to grammar school, Ronald, Philip, Academy Lobby. You watch school sports now, and I mean, it's a shame, really. I mean, you watch that. In fact, nobody's there watching their own school play. Guys, I mean, it's a big mess, really.
But not even black or white, the ordinary pants on the field. And the others, all the others in white.
Muku, how many years you played for Kensbro?
I play from 74, 75, and 76, and never lose one match. One match I lose.
You mean in
So,
3 years, Kensbro only lost one game? What division? First division?
One team at beat us is St. Ken.
Okay.
Ken.
Okay.
And I was sick at the time, so I just had to make it because it's problematic. But I wasn't supposed to do that. I was sick. And I think that I lose. And the others is just victory.
One of the most outstanding footballers from Kens Road, Fitzhenry. I trust that you all have highlighted him and featured him at your honorable luncheon or whatever.
Once in a year,
And interestingly, do you know that Pat Aaron also played midfield for Kensbro?
Yes. I mean, Pat Aaron used to play CJ Half Stars at one time. I think, there was this team from Newtown. Pat Aaron used to play for too.
But he mainly played for Kensbro the time he played in midfield for Kensbro.
Yeah.
Philip, we have to wind up now.
Yes, sir.
So
Just to give you, I see you were laughing about the playing naked and so on. Do you know that in the early days of the Olympics, all the athletes would run naked?
You serious?
Yeah, and only one female was allowed to witness the games. That's the wife of the president. All because they were soldiers. The soldiers who were involved in athletics in the early days in Greece.
What century? In the 18th century?
So they would oil themselves with olive oil, so they would be shining, and everybody would be running naked.
What century, Mr. White?
I'll have to get it for you, but in the early days in Greece. Actually, I went to the venue.
That was BC or AD?
AD. I went to the venue, Ancient Olympiad.
Ancient Olympians, okay.
Ancient Olympiad in Greece.
Of Greece.
Yeah, Greece. Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's give us the final comments.
Okay. Well, yes. Well, we just calling on the public, to support the magazine. Get your copy. So because it's something historic. I don't think Harlem did something like that, although they celebrated 50 years. And I think that kind of information we should have somewhere at the Windsor Park, some room, not a museum, but a room where you could highlight all the players who have performed at the Windsor Park. Football, cricket, basketball, athletics. So at least, because I know when I went to border in Ghana, you could see all the names of the cricketers who performed and whatnot. So we should have something like that at the Windsor Park, some room that you go there, because we have no history on our sports.
True.
Absolutely no history. That is something I wanted to do when I was at the Olympic Committee. There was funding to do that, archive, all of people with the knowledge are dying off, and so I'm saying that we need to make an effort to archive our history of our various sports. Now, before I leave, I just wanted to mention something on the athletics. The Character Games is coming up in Grenada, March 28th to April 2nd. We have 3 qualified athletes so far. Jamichael Teat from Westmore Rangers doing shot put and discus on the 17th. We have Addison James doing shot put and javelin. He's now in the under 20 category. He got a gold medal last year in Bahamas. And we have Corel Etienne, who's our new shining star. She's in Jamaica. She's doing 100 meters, 200 meters on the 17th.
Mr. White, tell them how she's been called in Jamaica. Picky foot.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's amazing, I saw an interview this morning. She did an interview, and to see the transition, the maturity that she displayed, coming from here and going to Jamaica in just a few months. So you can see that we need to expose our people at a very early age, because we are losing too many things.
Mr. White, you must say we need a track.
That's a nice word.
We need a track.
That's the best. I know. This tomorrow, Cedric Harris is going to Martinique with 4 athletes who to character trials. Got an invitation from Martinique, and next weekend Godwin Dossett is going to Guadeloupe with 5 athletes, carry the trials.
But Mr. White, you must.
Yeah.
I didn't hear. We need a track. I don't know, but I'm not hearing much from the association. There's much advocacy from the association for the need for a track in Dominica. There's
Well,
much
as I said
advocacy.
earlier, a sport was identified at Pontron. I'm not sure what. Yeah, sport. They started some work on it. I'm not sure what's the status on it now.
Well,
But
I can tell you what's the status. I passed there and grass have overgrown whatever little track they put there initially. It's been overtaken with Azier right now.
So that's it about our athletics. We have been using Geneva. We have had 3 development meets in Geneva to date. We're hoping the ground is still a bit soggy, so some of the events like the discuss and shot puts, it's affecting the players. So that's why one of the reasons why they have to go overseas to do the trials, and so there's no facility.
So, but it's good to have more competition. No, it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
and they get to compete on a proper track also.
Right.
Yeah.
So unless you get competition, then you cannot.
Yeah, you got a 400-meter track.
You cannot improve on yourself. You must have persons who are ahead of you to try to get you to that kind of level.
Not only that, First of all, what you have to understand is this: when you have a track, you get overseas. The long jump is on the tartan. The shot put a proper circle. The discus you throw from a cage. The high jump you have this run up. So you need to have a track. Otherwise, it's good they can go to Guadeloupe, Martinique to assist them in their preparation. And then you have a 400-meter track. I mean, it's ridiculous right now.
Anyway, guys, we have more. So, Mr. White, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was nice to have you.
Yeah.
And we will, again, I hope you can do something for Dana Ito. I'm really sad to hear what's happening with Dana. Ronald, I didn't even know Dana was
I
so
didn't know
sick.
at all, Sebastian.
I'm very
sure he was sick.
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm hearing it for the first time.
Very, very sick.
Feel a bit sad about that. Yeah, so I hope you all can have for him, do something for him. I'm really, really sad. And I wish him the best. That's all I can say.
I have a question to ask you early on.
Huh?
I have a question to ask you early on.
Yeah, go me?
Yes, a question.
Yeah, go
it
ahead.
has to do with cricket gears. Who in Dominica is selling cricket gears?
I'm not sure now if anybody does that. I'm not sure.
But so how are the players getting their gears?
Pablo used to run before, eh?
How are the players getting their gears?
Well, I guess people buy their own thing, I suppose. Yeah.
They're online?
Well, I honestly don't know, Lobby. I really don't know. I can. But Lobby, Ronald Thompson, today is Donald's birthday. Donald is 89 years of age today. Donald, good night. Does Diample Willie, by the way, Donald, Fred Diample told me if they can play a song for you, Cocoa Sweet. I never heard of that song. That's what Wilfred wants for you. Does Diample, good night. He wants that song, Cocoa Sweet. So, Donald, I know you had your coffee since afternoon. You put your powder, you had your biscuit. I know you're listening. 89, you're playing an outstanding inning so far. Keep batting, my brother. Keep batting. Lobby, I'm sure you and Runner want to say something to Donald.
Oh, yes, I want to
happy birthday, Rudolph Donald Pond. I hope you had a very enjoyable day and you have many more years to come. All the best, Donald.
Good night, my brother. Good night, sir.
I concur with Lander.
Yes, man. Donald, one of our most trusted listeners, 89 years of age. He had his biscuits and his coffee this afternoon, waiting for his program. Donald.
And I hope
your great granddaughter Donald visit you today.
St. Hamish, good night. How are you, my brother? Good night. Good. Ozzy, I spoke to you today. I know you're getting much better. I know that, and I'm sure your listeners will be happy. All your Ronald Lobby, we haven't called our fans yet for a while, and we have to do that next week.
Yes,
God willing.
Next week.
Yeah, we have to do that.
Lobby. Something else. Yes, I wasn't here last week. It has to do with quickly. With Dice, Sebastian, if Dice.
Yeah? Well.
And yes, what I want to say is this, Sebastian. Yes, this guy has won 10 crowns.
Mm-hmm.
What has I been to say? It has been bothering me for some, not just for number 10, but bothering me. We have had the king of Grenada sang in Dominica. We had this guy from Barbados singing in Dominica. What is the problem with guys singing in the islands? What's the problem?
That, in fact, I said to Pat, I spoke to Pat up to this week, what they need to do is organize a tour around the islands where guys can go, Bob, a few of them, go on a tour. That I hope
I agree, but the king, you have St. Lucia, you have St. Vincent, you have Barbados. He can go, he should be association to association, Dominica King as a guest artist. We have had other kings from other islands singing at various different times in our monarch. Why over the years he has not afforded the opportunity? I don't know. I can understand that at all.
Well, I think you're right. That's a matter for people. But we have Lobby. We have on the line David Johnson, the Assistant Secretary Treasurer of the Cricket Association. He's going to tell us about the matches last week and what they have coming up this week. Good night, sir.
Yeah. Good night, Mr. Sebastian, and again, good night to your rest of your panel.
Okay. Okay.
It's a pleasure again for me to update you guys on the ongoing DCA Digital Intermediate League. We just completed our round 5 actually of the Intermediate League thus far, and we had 3 matches played on the weekend. And if I go through those matches, we had 2 matches played on. 2 matches played on actually on Sunday, and we had 1 played on Saturday. If I go through the one for Saturday, we had Gladius Cricket Club versus the Honorable Dennis Charles Gallia Hurricanes. In that match, Gallia batted first. They scored 190 all out. In that innings of Gallia, we were at Felix Etienne with 64. And for bowling for Gladiators, we had Oscar George 3 for 17, Clement Masley 4 for 18, and Jamie John Baptist 2 for 49. And in Gladiators innings, they could only amass 101 runs all out. We had Oscar George 27 and Jamie John Baptist 21. We had Michael Del Sol with 2 for 31 and Kellen Pascal with one under 15 selectee 2 for 20. So we have Gallia won that match by 89 runs. In another match, we had on Sunday actually, we had Summit Sports Club versus the Police Sports Club. In that match, we had Summit won the match by 97 runs. Summit is selected to bat first, and they scored 219 for 8. We had Stephen Pascal scored 102, Yamani Regis 38, and Navin Patel 26. In the bowling for Police, we had Erwin Burton 2 for 41, Lester Sliss 4 for 18, and Jason Lamoff 1 for 45. And in Police innings, Police could only amass 122 all out. You had Chris Alfred with 31. You had Stephen Pascal 3 for 38, Tyrese Libra 3 for 25, and Shaquin Thomas 2 for 25, and Yawani Regis and Jason Vidal 1 wicket each. So we had Summit won that match by 97 runs. Now, again, at the Bendis Park in Portsmouth, we had the Northern Stars versus the Casuals Cricket Club. I would say, Mr. Sebastian, it looked like that's an over 40 team, actually, when I watched the match. We had the Northern Stars won the toss elected to bat. They scored 353 for 4. Wow. We had Kyron Phillips with 108. We had Lubio Charles, actually, with 84. Kyle George with 51. In the bowling for Casual, we have Casual Cricket Club. We have C. Saint-Jean with 3 for 95 of 9 overs. And we have R. De Champs with 1 for 75 of 6 overs. And into bat, Casual, they didn't really turn up with the bat. Well, they actually Northern Star Light took off the Casual Cricket Club. They only amassed 77 for 8. We have Leon Sejar 5 for 21. We have Gary Daniel 2 for 7, and we have Julani Joseph 1 for 16. So you have the Nagico Northern Stars who won that match by 276 runs.
Before you go, the under 15 starts in Antigua next week. I think the West Indies. How many people from Dominica on that team?
We have five players.
Okay. A senior is still there?
Excuse me?
A senior Franklin, is he still there?
Yes.
Is he captain, is he?
I'm not too sure.
But when are they leaving? When are they leaving for Antigua?
I'm not sure on the date that they are leaving, but I know they are going, but I'm not too sure what date.
Okay.
I haven't got any
The
information.
tournament starts next week, if I'm not mistaken. I think it starts
Yes.
next week until the West Indies under 15 tournament. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
very much.
then.
Okay, guys, what we'll do now, a lot of people probably haven't heard the scores of round 3. Thompson, you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been looking at the scores. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, well, let's give listeners the score. Jamaica against Barbados. Jamaica made 269 batting first. Kirk McKenzie, West Indies batsman, 40. Morrison, 97 not out. Jomel Warrican, 5 for 62 for Barbados. The last score I saw before I came on the Barbados for what? 299 for 6. Craig Brathwaite, the West Indies captain, was on 128 not out at the time. And Kevin Wickham, the young batsman, continues to do well, 63. Guyana playing the academy. Guyana batting first with 175. Joshua James took 4 for 43 for the academy. The academy responded with 162. Joshua Bishop made 51. Kevin Sinclair took 4 for 45. And Moti, the West Indies spinner, 3 for 31. Guyana batting a second time, 165 for 5. Anderson made 41. Trinidad against the Leeward Islands. Trinidad batting first, 137. Jerry
Wow.
Goulden made 30, 137. Jeremiah Louis, 3 for 38. Leeward responded with 318. Kyron Powell, 65. Joel Andrew, you remember that name, guys?
Yes.
You remember that name? The
Yes.
West Indies under 19.
This is the keeper for the under 19. Yeah.
Yeah, he did 87 today. The 16-year-old boy from
So
Antigua.
we're talking about bringing in the under 19s into the senior league. I mean,
Well,
what
he
type
made
of
87
solution?
today, I can tell you. And
Yeah.
for Trinidad, Anderson Phillip 4 for 62. The Trinidadians are 37 without loss. But in the second term, now we come to the Windward Islands now. CCC batting first made 204. The leg spinner, what's his name, Cyrus, took 6 for 76. And Gillen Tyson, making his debut, Carib Territory boy, bowled extremely well, 3 for 37. Windwards putting relentless pressure on the other teams, 358 for 8. Ambrose with a blistering 120, and Calvin Hodge 108 not out. So Windwards right in front, could finish that game tomorrow again inside 3 days. So these are the scores after round 3 of the West Indies 4-day
Symbols,
championship.
who Windward played?
The combined campuses.
And give me the scores again.
We should also add
Combined campuses 204, Windwards 358 for 8 at the end of 2 days play.
See, but 2 things I would like to stress. The Windwards, after 2 games, they're the only team to have won both games. And it looks like they're going to win. They're going to have 3-3.
Correct.
And also, the young Michael Louis, the opener for Leeward, he had back-to-back centuries in the last game.
And he got an unfortunate out yesterday, Tom, for LBW for 34.
For
Looked like he was going
yeah.
down the left side. Yeah.
Right. Yes. So that's another great promise. And then just to add as well, Jeremiah, there were 2 Louis, 2 brothers on that Leeward team.
Yeah. These are Jerry Louis' son.
Sons,
Mr. Whitaker Louis is the grandfather. I can tell you
Right.
that.
Absolutely. But it's good to see Craig Brathwaite among the runs as well.
Yeah, but Shandapol is not making any runs though, Thompson.
What was that?
Shandapol hasn't made any runs.
Yeah, he's struggling a bit.
Big time, man. He's struggling.
So what has happened to Trinidad and young Bravo?
Well, he's not playing. He had said he's taking a break, Lobby. That's what he said.
He always taking a break here, man. He's breaking too often.
But I think the most outstanding thing so far in the competition is the performance of the Windward Islands.
Oh yeah.
They won the first game by 10 wickets, the second game by 9 wickets, and they look like they're going to give CCC 2 for 1.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I would like to see, and I'm saying that to Mr. Masley, you need to talk to Mr. Shallow. We need to get Stephen Pascal involved in the competition. It might be very difficult.
No, but I don't agree with you.
No.
Shallow. Shallow has nothing to do with that.
Nothing
You can't talk to Shallow. I mean,
But
Shallow is not a selector.
who should he speak to get him to combine campuses and colleges or the Windward Islands Academy?
Well, I said the combined campus already. I say it's a fraud. To me, even
So
when I
how
was
can he get
manager
from
of Windwards, That is not a Bajan thing. They're doing their nonsense. And I always have a problem. But I'll tell you, Tash Tavernier plays for the common campuses in the Barbados Premier League, and he cannot make that team, which is poor. So you wonder how they're picking the team.
So this is why I'm saying at the highest level, some action should be taken for Stefan Pascal, the captain of the West Indies under-19 team, to be involved at that level of competition.
Yeah, but if you're saying that too, you have to be consistent because Stefan Pascal is not at school, by the way. So if you're saying, if in one breath I'm saying that it's a corruption, we can encourage when somebody, because the common campuses should be people at school, going to university around the Caribbean or in
What
colleges.
about the West Indies Academy?
Or in colleges. Well, the academy, these guys have been there for the past 2 years. These are the West Indies selectors picking these guys. So I don't know how long they keep them for, if it's 2 or 3 years. They've been there since last year. We know what's about. How many people there? You have Teddy Bishop there. You have Akim Ogis is there as well. There's Rivaldo Clark from St. Lucia. There are 3 or 4 Windward Islanders there in that team.
But
So
some way or the other, we need to get Stefan Pascal participating in the West Indies Cricket League. But
I'm with you on that.
Windwards, and when I
that.
comment Windwards, I'm the manager of the Windwards team. He's doing a tremendous job, and I must also commend him for that. The manager, and I understood that the manager is on a no-pay leave. So many people in Dominica getting paid for doing nothing. And then you've got a manager of Windward Islands performing remarkably. This is supposed to get a man more incentive to continue to perform.
Well, I'm happy you say it. I didn't want to say it. I said that it's not a nonsense in Dominica. A manager of a team is working and he's told you can go, but we will not pay you.
For how long? Less than 2 months. And you've got so many people employed all over the government, 65, 68, 70 years old, doing nothing and making big salaries. Our priorities are so wrong in Dominica is unfortunate.
Thompson, you heard that?
Yes, I did. I mean, yeah, it's mind-boggling. But but certainly I agree with Ron. I think Stefan Pascal should find a way on this to be in the mix there with the senior players. I don't know how it's going to be done, but he should. There should be somebody thinking of a way to get him in. And see, as I said, Leeward, they got in Joel into their squad. And I'm very happy for the young man. I saw the maturity with which he played in the under-19 as a 16-year-old. But yeah, we have to look at it.
But Sebastian, now I'm just listening to on the young man Stephen Pascal. First of all, I think I like stages. The local league. Then he moved to the Windward tournament where he has to perform, and then he move on. I think let the young man move on in stages, because first of all he has to be captain, but he has to look at his batting. He's not a fast bowler, he's not a spinner, he's a batsman. All right, let us look and say improve on his batting, his flow.
Well, there's a Windward Islands tournament this year in a few months' time. Yeah.
Right. So he'll be on the Dominica team. And it's from there he has to take it. But I said some time ago, Sebastian, what is the problem of this young man getting into UWI?
Well, I guess it's for his family to apply. I guess I'm sure he can get in there because I'm not sure if they still have the scholarships. Like when people like Liam went and Miles Bascom, when Dr. Beckles was there, Hilary Beckles, Professor Beckles. I'm not sure if they still have the program at UWI. I mean, I know Taj is up there. Gian Benjamin went there. He got a degree as well. Kevin went there. So I'm not sure if they still have the program at UWI.
So Sebastian, wouldn't the association here have this information, the local association?
Well, I expect them to. And I would expect them
because
to.
Because that is, say, look, that is where, the place we have Hodge, as the names that you mentioned, being at UWI, it helped the game. It helped them to improve a great deal.
Yes, because Luby, we've got Afanas, we've got Hodge, and these are good role models for young players. We've got Pascal
from UWI.
We've got to work with Pascal so he also becomes a role model.
How can he get to UWI?
That's a part of it. But I think immediately he should be on that West Indies tournament. Immediately.
Which one?
what's happening right now? You're the West Indies captain of under 19.
But remember, Lander, yes, captain, but in his batting, you look, first of all, he's a batsman.
So that's why you need to
look at
expose
Ali
him,
Winwood
Bobby.
team. Who can replace only Winwood team?
So I'm saying
Right
it
now.
will be difficult for the because the way the Winwood team is playing, the quality. And see, I need to ask you about this guy, Ryan John. Mr. seems to be a very good all-rounder.
Good cricket. He played in the T10 in May, not the one last year, not the last one, the one before. He was in. Yeah, he
And
played.
Springer is also
Springer is a Bajan though, a Bajan. But John is a good cricketer. He didn't do well bowling yesterday, but he's had a good season so far. He swings the ball and he can hit the ball as well. So yeah, he's a decent little cricketer. And like I said, Tyson, I was very impressed with Tyson yesterday. He bowled very well, good pace. Bowled Shamma Brooks. In fact, he got a wicket with his second ball in the game. Gillan Tyson. So very impressed with him. And I said the Windward Islands team, it's difficult to get in that team now. I can tell you that. In fact, they had to leave out a spinner because Alec Afan back. So he had to captain the team. So obviously they couldn't drop any of like Jeremiah who bats at 3. The openers, they wouldn't leave them out. You have Calvin himself, you have Ambrose. So it's a strong top order. Difficult to get in that top order. Very difficult to get in there, honestly, in that top order. And the way they win, well, they have a break after this weekend. They start back on what? The 13th of March? Yeah. The second round starts back after these rounder matches. So they take a break for 2 weeks and come back on March the 13th. So the win was doing well. And they barely lost the commission last year when we had this guy and Lee was this to me. It was a
Sell-out.
It
That
was
to me.
Yeah,
Up to now, there should be, an inquiry, Sebastian.
Well, I had said that last year. What happened on that last day was unbelievable. In fact, it was shocking. Wow, the Leeward Islands folded, man, last year. It's something else. But guys, there's a test match starting tonight at 12, and that series very interesting, Thompson. England, India.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. The fourth test match is on, and
yes,
it's series 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
So England is hungry to equalize and make a fight out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the amazing thing was how England collapsed in the last inning of the first test. Yeah.
But the wicket, Sebastian, the wicket had a lot of bounce.
No, it was a good pitch. It was a good cricket pitch. I mean, the first 3 days, like any test match pitch, on the 4th day, you expect the ball to turn. Test, you know what you don't want in a test match pitch? The 4th day means closing the eyes and playing forward because it's so good. You want the first 2-3 days, good for batting. 4th day, start to spin. 5th day, turning. But England, to me, they have this stupidness talking about basketball, but to me, it's ass ball. Sorry about the language. Because you look at Joe Root, how he got out. Did you see it?
Yes,
You saw it, right?
I saw that. Yes.
You can't play a shot like that in a test match, looking to scoop Bumrah of all people in a test match. That really, and Joe Root has scored runs without having to do this kind of nonsense. Playing, and you know, they must have respect as well, you know. At the end of the 3rd day, I heard Jimmy Anderson saying they feel they can chase the 600. I mean, what crap? How many teams have done that in cricket? I mean, that's rubbish.
They chased 400 in the second test, huh? So
no, who chased that?
England. When England won.
But they lost. They lost.
No, sorry, first test.
It wasn't 400. It was 3. But what I'm saying,
6.
How many teams in the history of cricket have chased 600 in a test match? I want somebody to tell me. And these guys feel, if they're stupid, they can chase anything and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's nonsense. I mean, the rubbish.
You know, but
I've
been very impressed with the opener as well. Huh?
Oh, that guy, a 21-year-old boy.
Young boy.
21-year-old boy.
Incredible. 2 double centuries in free matches.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is a run machine, you know, and
but you know, Ronald, you wonder where India get it. Look at that. They bring a guy, 26 years, he's averaged almost 70 playing for so long. Safraz Khan. And you saw the guy batting. He batted like he was playing test cricket for the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
But
India has a very good program. But Sibo, what do you think about leaving Bumrah out for the 4th test?
No, when it shows you in there, I find it brave. And the Hall say they feel confident that they can win because what they say, they're looking at his workload. You have the 5 test matches. Right, the IPL starts March 17th, right away, and then you have the World Cup. But and that is what the West Indies board must do. I saw something yesterday. Shreyas Iyer, who played the first 2 test matches, he was dropped. He's from Bombay. He played the Ranji Trophy is going on now. Ishan Kishan, who plays for Jharkhand, he hasn't played a match. So the BCCI said, no, wait. You guys have to go and play for your country. You don't play, well, you know the consequences. They gave them, in fact, Iyer came up saying he had back problem. They said no, because any Indian contracted player, when you're injured, you have to go to the academy in Bangalore. That's where their main cricket academy is. So you must report them. When they checked him, he had no back problem. You're faking a back problem. They said, no, you have to go and play. So that is what the West Indies board should be doing. If you're not playing, then you must come and play for your country. Guys, look at that in the Caribbean. Guys, that's not playing.
All over.
They don't play.
But Sibo, I wanted to make a point there again, going back a little to the point that Landa was making about our captain Stephen Pascal in 2019 in the World Cup, the under 19 World Cup. Alec was the top scorer in that series. Number 2 was Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill got into the senior Indian team the following year.
Right.
It took almost 4 to 5 years to get into the West
batting.
Indies team. Batting, yeah.
Yes,
Okay, Alec Afanaz was the top scorer then, above Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill made the India senior team 2 or 3 years, actually 3 years before Alec Afanaz could make the West Indies team. So there is value in bleeding in those young players with talent early. And look at how Shubman Gill is performing now for India as a number 3 in the absence of Kohli. It's no more on that.
But and as we say that,
Kohli's not there too. Kohli's not playing.
Well, his wife just played the second child this week. Yeah, that was it. I see Chadwick Walton. Imagine the point you're making. Chadwick Walton, 39 years. I still see wicket keeping for Jamaica. He had no way. I mean, this is the nonsense sometimes. Yeah, I see Chadwick Walton behind the stumps, and some people really. And I'll go back to the CCC team. I think it's a good idea. You want to bring them, but how I'll say, let us pick a real team then of combined campuses around the Caribbean, where colleges as well. If people in the college are good enough, have a proper trial and select your team. It mustn't be that you have some nonsense going on and then you pick a team, 8 Bajans, whatever. It's rubbish. And I always looked at it, even when I was the Windward team, and there were problems. I always felt that it wasn't done properly. Just wasn't done properly. Always felt so.
Sibo, I have been looking at some of the West Indians playing franchise cricket. And let me tell you something. One player I'm talking about, Hetmeyer. This guy to me, Hetmeyer. To me, is a waste of time.
Yeah, well, I would say it's a waste of time, but I mean...
No, the way the man is batting, Sebastian. To me, the man, seriously, he's overweight. First of all, he's not training. And the kind of shots that this man playing is like a guy who doesn't know cricket. It is sad, very, very, very sad. This young man, we have so much hope on Hetmeyer taking us taking West Indies cricket to the next level. And the same now, is just amazing.
But look,
interestingly, Thompson, before you come in, the IPL seems to be the highest quality league in the world right now, because India cricket, the development of their cricket was because of the IPL. Sibo, you agree with that? You are the connoisseur. You agree with that?
Well, in fact, that is the only franchise cricket I watch, the IPL. The other night, in fact, the Pakistan one is going on now. I don't even watch it. When I saw Viv Steam playing one of these days, I don't even really watch it, because the IPL is the thing. You're right.
And Hetmeyer is selected to play in the IPL. So he must have some kind of substance.
Well, he has done well for his franchise team, but he's struggling big time. And for his own sake, he's a young man. I hope he can come back. I mean, that's why he's 26 years, a young boy.
But he has to be improved on his fitness. He's not fit.
Well, if you play in IPL, I expect the coaches there to make sure you're fit. They don't mess with that. So,
but the onus is on you, Sebastian. The onus is as you as a professional player to improve on your fitness. Look at Kohli. When I look at Kohli, Kohli will take for you. You score 100, if 45 singles is 100.
I agree.
You know.
But not only that, it runs 2s and 3s. He's so fit, he can do that.
Obviously. I mean,
and
it's
then
just ridiculous with our
Australia New
players.
Zealand are playing tomorrow morning too, guys, at 2 o'clock in the morning. The first T20 was won on the last ball. I don't know if you saw it, Thompson.
Australia.
Oh.
Australia won on the last ball.
Yes.
Which scores 216.
Yeah.
That's a lot
But
of
they're playing
runs.
tomorrow morning, 2 o'clock, the second one. And the test match, the other 2 tests will be interesting, start next week. Australia and New Zealand. Next Wednesday, I believe. So it's going to be a nice test series starting next week. And the 220s, there's one tomorrow morning. And I think the last one is on Sunday, I believe.
Yeah, I love this series. I always love the series between Australia and New Zealand, you know?
But it's strange, Thompson, they're neighbors and they've hardly played against each other. Eh?
That's true. They don't
hardly played.
Yeah.
Neighbors. Yeah.
Pakistan don't play against India at all.
Well,
and understand that tickets have gone on sale for the World Cup T20.
But it's almost finished. But it's almost finished.
Can you imagine that?
The tickets, most of them have been sold out already, you know.
Wow.
The tickets have gone on sale. Most of the tickets are sold out, particularly those in the States.
And
particularly those in the States.
Yeah. The game in Dominica is when?
What don't you say?
A game in Dominica?
Everything
is going bad in Dominica.
What date again is
Everything is going bad in Dominica.
Eh? Well, that is why we have to say to people, Thompson, you must tell people now, as we close up, to encourage people for Sunday afternoon. That's your call there now.
We should have never missed that opportunity to have the World
That
Cup.
was crazy. I mean, that's
never,
crazy.
never, ever.
Crazy.
That's poor management all around in all aspects in Dominica.
To not see a World Cup.
I hope for the consideration they will consider people like Shama Joseph for the West Indies team.
Oh, by the
and
way,
Afanas.
I have to talk about Shama Joseph. He has withdrawn from the Pakistan, trying to rest his foot, get it ready for the IPL, and he's hoping to play a couple matches for Jamaica. News came through today. So he's withdrawn from the Pakistan Super League that's just started and trying to get his foot ready for the IPL. And I guess the England tour in July, August. West Indies go to England for free test matches. So today he's withdrawn from the Pakistan.
Which team? For
He was supposed to play for, what's the name? Peshawar Zami.
No, you said Jamaica.
No, Guyana, sorry. Guyana. He's hoping to play for Guyana before the season is over.
Okay.
So he's getting his foot ready. Shama Joseph.
Sibo, is there, in terms of this World Cup, will there be a camp for preparation for the West Indies team?
I would expect that because I think there's a tri-series in, I think, is it after the IPL? They have a tri-series in West Indies and 2 other teams. They have a tri-series, I believe. Yeah, I believe so. But you know, a lot of these guys are going to be in the IPL too, eh? I mean, the captain will be in the IPL, Rothman Powell. Hope is in the IPL. Shepherd is in the IPL. Rossi is in the IPL.
Which Shepherd? Which Shepherd is not
Romario
there?
Shepherd.
I don't think he's there.
Yeah, man.
Joseph.
No, man, of course.
Narayan, Hetmeyer.
No, man, Shepherd is there.
Shepherd is there. Shepherd is there.
Hetmeyer is there.
Yeah, Hetmeyer, but Shepherd is going to play for Mumbai.
Right.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
there
because
for
I went through the list and I didn't
No,
see it.
Shepherd is definitely there. He's definitely there. You know. So a lot of these guys will be in the IPL playing. So it's going to be difficult to get them in a camp. And the IPL goes from March till May, you know. You know, that's the only problem I have in India. What they do, look at it, they play in a 5-test series, finish, and then they go IPL, and everything stops everywhere in the world. Everywhere for the IPL, because it goes for 10 weeks. I mean, this is crazy.
I
10
think
weeks.
I think there should be a rethink. As much as I like the IPL, I think the period of the IPL can be shortened.
Of course.
Yeah, because it takes away a lot from the other competitions across the globe, and I don't think it's fair.
But money speaks money.
Because the IPL, they extended, they have more teams, and it's 10 weeks. I mean, you go from March, whole of April into May. That's a long. Even the English county cricket now is like we used to follow it, but now a lot of these guys, because of the IPL, going to India and playing this thing. It's not the the English county is not like before, how it used to be. So, guys, we've come to the end of the program. It's gone so fast. It's 8 o'clock. So we want to encourage people on Sunday afternoon. There's this big activity between the ashes to come out. Between the ashes, I mean, people must not listen to this thing about violence. There's going to be no violence. It's a move to frighten people.
Sorry, did I hear the police say that they would not be providing security? Is that what they said?
No, I didn't say that.
They cannot say that.
They would be crazy to say that. But what I am saying, every time to come up with nonsense about violence, there'll be no violence. Dominica is not a violent place. People are coming to a meeting to enjoy themselves and to give support. So people should be there and stop this nonsense about violence. There'll be no violence at all.
In closing, I know Rudolph Dodol Pond is a great fan of this program. I would like him to enjoy the rest of his Earth Day. Whatever you want to do tonight, Dodol, continue doing it. I hope that you saw your great-granddaughter sometime today and enjoy the rest of your day, Dodol.
And Dodol, Wilfred Darren sent that song for you. So I hope you will listen to it. Okay, so on behalf of Ronald Lander, Thompson Fontaine, Emmanuel Loblack, our man in the council, Lambert Charles, let me say good night to everybody. You will hear us again next week. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.